A 140-pound Cane Corso everyone called a monster. An 8-month-old baby girl sleeping peacefully in her crib. Every expert said it was a disaster waiting to happen. Every family member begged them to get rid of the dog. Even animal control had him on a watch list. But what this chained, scarred, abandoned war dog did at exactly 4:17 a.m. on a freezing December morning didn't just save that baby's life. It shattered everything the world thought they knew about dangerous dogs. This is Diesel. This is Emma. And this is the night that proved sometimes the most broken souls become the greatest protectors. They called him a monster, a 140-pound Cane Corso named Diesel with a jet black coat, a scarred muzzle, and a stare that made grown men cross the street. He wasn't just intimidating, he was the kind of dog people warned their kids about, the kind animal control had on speed dial, the kind that spent 897 days chained to a rusted fence post behind a foreclosed home in rural Tennessee. Nobody wanted him, not after what they'd heard, not after what they'd seen. But what happened at 4:17 a.m. on a freezing December morning proved that sometimes the most dangerous-looking dogs have the purest hearts. This is Diesel's story, and this is the family he chose to protect, even when everyone told them to run. The Johnson family found Diesel by accident. Sarah and Marcus were driving home from a late shift when they saw him, a massive shadow in their headlights, standing in the middle of County Road 14. Marcus slammed the brakes. What the hell is that? It was Diesel, alone, soaking wet from the rain, a thick chain still attached to his collar, dragging behind him like a ghost from his past. "We need to call someone," Sarah whispered, her hand instinctively moving to her belly. She was 8 months pregnant with their first child. But Marcus was already out of the car. "Marcus, no!" Sarah shouted. "That dog could kill you!" Diesel didn't move. He just stood there, ribs visible through his drenched coat, eyes locked on Marcus. Not aggressive, not threatening, just tired. Marcus knelt down slowly. "Hey, big guy, you lost?" Diesel took one step forward, then another. Then he pressed his massive head against Marcus's chest and let out the saddest sound Sarah had ever heard, a low, broken whimper that said everything words couldn't. They took him to the emergency vet that night. The vet, a woman named Dr. Patel, who'd worked with aggressive dogs for 12 years, examined the chain still embedded in Diesel's neck. "This wasn't an accident," she said quietly. "Someone chained him and left him, probably for months." "Can we keep him?" Marcus asked. Dr. Patel looked at Sarah's pregnant belly, then back at Diesel. "Ma'am, I have to be honest. Cane Corsos were bred as Roman war dogs. They're protective, territorial, and incredibly powerful. With a baby on the way." She paused. "Are you sure that's a risk you want to take?" Sarah watched Diesel lying on the exam table, his dark eyes following her every move. And in that moment, she saw something no one else did. Not danger, not aggression, just a soul begging for one more chance. "We'll take him home," she said. The first 3 weeks were a test. Diesel didn't trust easily. He flinched when Marcus raised his hand to pet him. He wouldn't eat unless someone sat in the room with him. He slept in the corner, never on the bed they'd bought him, like he didn't believe he deserved comfort. But then something shifted. One night, Sarah was folding baby clothes in the nursery when she felt a sharp kick. She laughed, rubbing her stomach. "Easy there, little one." Diesel, who had been lying in the hallway, stood up. He walked into the nursery slowly, his massive frame filling the doorway. Then he did something he'd never done before. He walked right up to Sarah, lowered his head, and gently pressed his nose against her belly. The baby kicked again. Diesel's tail wagged once, just once. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "You know, don't you?" From that moment on, Diesel became Sarah's shadow. When she sat, he sat. When she walked, he walked. When she slept, he positioned himself at the foot of the bed, eyes on the door, ears forward, waiting. Marcus's brother visited 2 weeks before the due date. He took one look at Diesel and shook his head. "Man, you're crazy. That dog is a lawsuit waiting to happen. What if he snaps when the baby cries? What if he gets jealous?" Marcus didn't answer, but Diesel did. He walked over to the nursery door and sat down, not moving, not making a sound, just guarding a room meant for a child he hadn't even met yet. "That answer your question?" Marcus said. Baby Emma was born on a Wednesday at 6:47 p.m. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect little fingers, perfect little toes. When they brought her home 2 days later, Diesel was waiting at the door. He didn't bark, he didn't jump, he just watched as Marcus carried Emma inside in her car seat. Sarah knelt down beside Diesel. "This is Emma. She's ours now, and that means she's yours too." Diesel approached the car seat slowly. He sniffed the blanket, then he lowered his head and touched his nose to Emma's tiny hand. Her fingers curled around the tip of his nose. Diesel froze. His entire body went still, like he understood that this fragile, helpless human was now his responsibility. And from that day forward, he never left her side. If you're still here but haven't subscribed yet, that honestly stings a little, because what happens next is something you'll want to see again and again. Hit that button, trust me.
Diesel's routine became legendary. Every morning at 6 a.m., he'd sit beside Emma's crib, waiting. But the moment that changed everything happened when Emma was 4 months old. It was 4:17 a.m. when Diesel started barking, frantic, desperate. Marcus ran to Emma's room. Emma's body was rigid, eyes rolled back. A seizure. They called 911. Emma's temperature was 105.2 degrees. The ER doctor asked, "How did you know to check on her at 4:17? Marcus whispered, "Our dog did." "Your dog saved your daughter's life." Marcus wrapped his arms around Diesel. "They said you were dangerous, but you're the reason she's alive." Because sometimes the ones the world calls monsters have the biggest hearts. Would you trust a 140-pound Cane Corso with your baby?